Good morning, it's Dr. Kathy. We're here for our Sunday ceremony, and it is February 13th, so just before Valentine's Day. I'm here in Central Texas visiting my sister and brother-in-law, and then I'll get to go see different people in the Houston area, which is fun. I'm really looking forward to that. I haven't seen people in person, Hopefully people I see are huggable. I'm ready for hugs, really am ready for hugs. So let us begin this wonderful session. I think Alma's going to come, but I am not positive. I haven't gotten a whole lot of information. I've been actually transcribing. Let's see, I transcribed last week's Sunday ceremony, and I'm transcribing our relationship, which turned out to be, instead of a 20-minute message, it was about an hour, which is a lot longer. So it takes longer to get done in that. But it is so wonderful to be part of this work, to really be part of this work. So how do we begin? Heart source. For those who may be newer at this, bring your attention to the front of your heart chakra there in the center of your chest. With a deep breath, just feel your awareness go inside. As you learn to do this, you get messages, you get a sense of what's happening with that chakra. And now the back of your heart chakra. So you stay in the center, but your awareness go around the back of you and go into the back of your heart chakra. There you go. There you go. Everybody's in there. Go as deep as you can. And this one, you go through like a little hallway or a tunnel, and then suddenly you open up into your sacred space, which is just amazing. And now go into the front of your third eye. Again, you're staying in your awareness into the front of the back of your heart. Now go into the front of your third eye. And now go into the back of your third eye, around the back. There you go. Now, in 10C, draw a beam of energy from your heart chakra to your third eye, going right the center. Notice how that feels. I still get this a little electrical charge each time I do that. Send that beam of energy straight up to the center of the universe. Okay, and straight down into the center of the earth. Just feel yourself being grounded above and below through the center of the universe, the center of the earth. And now command, chakra spin. Spin as fast as is safe for me. And breathe in deeply, and let's bring in all of this wonderful energy above, below, from the front and the back, so that you have, I think of it like water when you're cleaning up a pan. I usually say the burnt rice pan. That may let you know how often I burn the rice pan. And breathe deeply and just let everything leave you. And your intention, you're just leaving you're releasing what needs to go. Good. Let's hold that a little bit longer. Take another deep breath. Good. And now, connect with your healing team. Healing team, please use the 4 foundational plugins on each of the 7 steps, the 7 parts of the heart source. Each of those plugins requires the healing of a wound. So when you're doing the 4 plugins and you're doing it on the 7 times, you are actually addressing 7 times 4 is 28, 28 wounds. And they could be aspects of one wound. So most of you may know this, but just in case you don't, is like if you have gone through a divorce, for instance, or somebody has died, you have the event that seems overarching, and then you have the events that led up to it. Like when my brother-in-law died, it was him being sick, us not being able to touch him, what my sister was going through, what my nephews were going through. All of those were wounds for me to ask for healing for. With a divorce, it's like when you first noticed that something wasn't right. The event itself would happen and then the repercussions. So your healing team will work with you in all of those areas. Good. And now just thank them. And let us all gather together in our healing lecture room. There is a floor of light below us, a canopy of light above us. There are pillars of light in each corner. Just notice the pillars. Within the pillars, I'm just seeing various colors. And my healing guides are letting me know that those colors can be different for each person. It's like our energy and what we pay attention to creates our own healing lecture room. There we go. There are angels surrounding our healing lecture room from pillar to pillar to pillar to pillar and back to the first pillar. And what I'm getting is that they are angels from many different bands. You have Raphael's, you have Michael's, you have Zadkiel, the Archangel Golden, and others. Good. And then in the central pillar, there is a central pillar, and gathered within the central pillar are all manner of wonderful, wonderful people, wonderful, wonderful beings. And they are the ones that you are closest to and the ones that I am. And I see the ones that I am closest to the most, but notice who's there for you. And if you have a name that comes to you or a name you wish to be there, they will be there because this is for you. And now connect with that beam of energy, connect with a beam of energy from your heart to the central pillar. And we are all connected together. And now the energy for our healing lecture room is shifted to just healing. It comes to the vibration that we each need for healing. And I ask you to see yourself joining in a huge circle because this healing room expands and expands and expands. And you are there in your multidimensional self in this circle. And with intention, your physical 3D self go into the center of the room, and the rest of you, other parts of you, your multidimensional part is there in the healing circle, this wonderful, glorious you that you are. There you go. And who would you like to join you in the healing circle? If you'd like to unmute and call upon someone, please do that. I'll start with my family, especially, and my great niece, Sage, who is really struggling with the effects of the vaccine and what that's done to her and changed her life totally. For my friend Melanie and my cousin Ray, who have COVID long haulers. For my sister, who is missing her husband. It's been 3.5 months now. Who else? And my cousin's family. He left us about a year ago. He had cancer, and for his family, his wife, and their 4 children.
I'd like to add, I'm sorry.
Go right ahead, Denise.
I'd like to add Michael and Brendan and Sarah, Regina and Matt, Daniel, my sister Barb. This is the anniversary of her wife's death. And all the people that have COVID and are so stressed and depressed right now, because it's really a hard time for lots of folks.
It really is.
And myself, yeah.
Yep. Thank you. Anybody else?
Yes, I'd like to add my son, my one niece, Jen, my niece, Denise, my sister, Marie, my sister, Gail, who passed recently, myself, my friend, Carol, who is struggling with fear, hugely over people trying to break into her home and things. And my friends, Nancy and Anthony, who are struggling with Anthony's health condition of cancer.
Thank you.
And myself.
Robert, sorry.
I'm finished. Thank you.
Okay. Just add my husband, Robert.
Thank you. My friends, Fatima, Aisha, and Ali, who just lost their mom this past week. She's already gone home, so she's fine. Anybody else?
I would like to add Juliana and her entire family, my family, especially my husband, Joe, who is recovering from COVID, and Nicole, who just had surgery. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll add my daughter, myself, my friend who's having terrible problems with her knees, and basically to bring joy and light and peace to the world. It's just a crazy time.
Thank you. Anyone else? And if you're trying to say something and I don't respond, that means you're muted. Okay. And now, as your multidimensional self, sending healing energy with all those who are gathered with us, and I'm going to say a prayer. Amma and Abba, the masculine and feminine aspects of that who we call God, all that is love itself. All of those who have joined us, Yeshua, Kuan Yin, Buddha, all of those who have joined us for this prayer, and I just named 3, there's so many, and ourselves. You hear, you know, you see within us what it is that are the biggest desires of our hearts, where our hearts hurt and yearn for healing of others. We ask you, those people that we have named aloud, those people that we name in our minds now, that we carry within our hearts, that we sometimes forget we carry. We do not know what is best for them. You do. And we ask for that love that they need to surround them, to fill them. We ask for them to be able to accept that love, that they may come to be who it is that they truly are, to know who it is they truly are, which is love, and to act and respond in such a manner. Please bring our body, our mind, our emotions, our spirit into perfect balance. And now, chakras spin. Spin is the exact vibration needed to send healing love to all of those. And just whether you want to extend your hands outward physically or you just want to see yourself do that, please do that. And let's hold this for about a minute. And I'm hearing my healing guide say, experience this love wrapping you in a huge hug. And we give thanks, and so it is. So now you get to take your places. You're moving from the healing room to the lecture room. And Amma is saying, choose the perfect chair for you. You know, she's been doing that lately. I love that. Choose the perfect chair for you. And rest in the chair that you may listen. And this chair can be anywhere. It can be on the beach, it can be in the mountains. You could be sitting there in the midst of the snow looking at it and know that chair keeps you at the perfect temperature. And ask your healing team to please align your encodement system to the exact vibration needed to hear not only the words, but the intent and the energy. And that you accept and integrate all that is said. And the next one that you hear will be Amma, the Divine Mother. She's giving me a hint of what she's going to be talking about. Good morning to you. Afternoon for some of you, dear ones. How wonderful it is that we are again gathered here together. Have any of you had the experience that you can feel each other during the week? That you are experiencing, that you are in a community. Even if you're not here live, but you listen to the recordings, that you are here in a community that supports each other, no matter what is happening. That is the blessing of doing the type of work you are, of being in your heart source, of balancing your energies, of accepting that you are love itself and beloved. Today, I would like to talk to you more about wisdom. So many of you attended the workshop on gathering wisdom and knowledge throughout all of your lifetimes. Those of you who were there, go ahead and ask your healing teams, your encodement teams, to again activate those encodements within you, to harmonize within your bodies. And those who were not there, simply ask your healing team to align your energy to the words that I will be giving you. There is a big difference between knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge is knowledge. It's information that you acquire. You can read it in books. You cannot learn wisdom from books. Those of you who work in healing in any particular way, you may have learned words to say, actions to do. But what happens as you practice, that's why you never quit practicing, is you learn how to tap into your wisdom to be able to say different words to someone than to another, to enter a different part of a person's energy anatomy than what you learned, or to be aware that someone may not need your words, simply need your love. Wisdom takes the knowledge that you have and applies it to particular people or to situations. Think about that, or feel it, or know it. Wisdom comes from you and your activation of all of your chakras being in alignment. It is difficult, near impossible, to talk about the wisdom of someone's relationship with their family. That includes your relationship with your family. If your first chakra is not clear, if you have imbalances in your first chakra, and that's where healing comes in, correct? It is also where acceptance comes in. Acceptance of yourself, acceptance of the other, acceptance of an other in all different realms. You may have knowledge that someone has a wound, or you might call it a weakness, in some particular area. Even with that knowledge, the only wisdom that you can read in a book about that is be gentle, be careful. Know that they are wounded and will react in different ways. It is your wisdom that comes from being able to take that knowledge and connect heart to heart with that individual and know what to say, how to say, what to be, how to be with that person. Now, anyone who works in that area here, including the one that I am speaking through, has made errors in that area. Continue to learn. Continue absorbing the information and the wisdom. Continue being in your heart, connecting the heart to the third eye, and feel that connection. And know that part of what you are doing is touching into the wisdom of the universe. With your wisdom, you will come to know who is very strong and able to listen to you when you say something which may sound harsh to another. Your intention is not to be harsh, it is to be firm and to say boundaries. And then there are others you are so tender with and so gentle. Think about the difference between children who are toddlers and teenagers and adults. At your stage in life, you have gained the wisdom to be very gentle with the toddlers, to know that this is the knowledge, to know that they think concretely. They don't have the ability to have an abstract thought to understand what you have done, what you have said, what they have done, and how it connects. They don't understand, in most cases, why it is wrong to hit someone over the head with the toy truck that somebody tried to take from them. And that is where you teach them gently. When you are not gentle with them, you cause what is known as trauma. And you know of that. You have had it done to you. Allow the experiences to change you within your heart and within your knowing. You hear in all the different religious traditions what is similar in Christianity: to do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Do not hurt others in a way that you would not want to be hurt. The wisdom that comes is being in awareness. You cannot have wisdom without awareness. Be in awareness of where your tender spots are and how they get activated by someone else. Be in that place of acceptance of your inner knowing, acceptance of your own tenderness, and how you have the power and the capacity to respond in a way that is tender to another, even if they have said words which hurt. Think of family, of friends, some that you might call it walk on eggshells with. You don't want to set them off or to hurt them in any way. Others you can make comments to and you both can laugh. That is not knowledge from the head. That is what comes from the heart in coming to know that person. It is a knowledge of their energy. It is a knowledge of their tenderness. Some people are more tender than others. There are times someone who is strong and who you can say many things to and not offend them, that are in a very tender place in their lives. And when you are in your heart and tapped into the wisdom, you recognize that this is not the time to make the same kinds of jokes or to use the same tone of voice that you did when they were strong. Be aware of this with yourself as well. Know when you are tender. Know when you need not to blame yourself. Know that there are times you could say, that was really inappropriate and you know better than that, to yourself. That is one way. And you may have that ability to accept that from yourself, which is different than the times when you are tender. And if you talk to yourself in that way, it brings about shame and guilt. Even you are different in different situations. Even you act as someone that is your own age, or you act as the 3-year-old who was so desperately wounded when no one could understand what you were trying to say. Consider the times that you were wounded because you were misunderstood, that you were treated in a way that was harsh and unfair, that you were blamed for something that you did not do. Others have had the same experiences. I have said many times that you are the center of your universe because you view everything through your eyes and through your heart and through your mind. You have your beliefs, which you formed in your childhood, and yes, some in your adulthood, but mostly in your childhood. Have the wisdom and understanding and the knowledge to know that others have that same experience. And that when you are most fragile, that is when you need to treat the other person as if they are equally fragile. That sounds a little strange, doesn't it? You know the concept of others being a mirror. You also are a mirror. And when you are in a fragile state of mind, a fragile emotion, you may also be mirroring someone else's fragility. You have heard about boundaries. You know about boundaries. There are ways that you can establish boundaries. You can do it firmly by saying, no, you will not speak to me in that way. There's another way to set boundaries, and this is where wisdom comes in, of knowing what will work. Sometimes you can set a boundary by saying, in great vulnerability yourself, of saying, if you intended to hurt me, you succeeded. I'm removing myself now. Humans do not like to admit to others that they have been hurt. The fear is that if someone knows this is how you can be hurt, that they will do that to you. Think about those who love you and whom you love. Saying to someone who loves you, and I'm speaking of truly loves you, not someone who pretends, even if you're in a relationship, a partnership. But if you say to them, if you intended to hurt me, you succeeded. That tells them a boundary about you. Sometimes you don't need to say it in quite that way. Sometimes you just say, I'm very tender right now, and that hurt. Wisdom is knowing who you can use those words with, those particular strategies. Wisdom is knowing when you cannot use those words of vulnerability with a particular person. Here in the third dimension, you have to learn and know who to trust and who you cannot trust. The first person that you need to trust and that you often learn to doubt is yourself. To trust what you receive in your heart, to trust that something is not right when your gut tightens up or your muscles are tightening up. When you are able to talk to your body, to pay attention to your body and listen to it communicate. Because when your body tightens, it is sending out danger, danger, danger. Wisdom is listening to that danger and opening your mind, your heart, your eyes, your ears to where that danger is coming from. Those of you who are empaths are very familiar with this. The difficulty that you have is just finding out whether that danger feeling you have is actually someone else's feelings or your own. And as you grow, as you learn how to ask questions of yourself, a simple question: who's in danger? Who is saying danger, danger? Is it me? And you get, No. Who is it? Is it family? A name might pop into your head. Is it family? Is it friends? Is it a client? Is it from someone I don't know, yet they are responding in a particular way that I pick up an energy of a group? Knowledge and wisdom combined mean that you know it is time to be in your heart source if you are not. Knowledge encompasses all the tools that you have been learning. When you hear that danger, danger, and you know it comes from someone else, knowledge of connecting with your healing team and asking them to remove from you all of the encodements of someone else, of another energy that entered you, remove them from you. Wisdom and knowledge. You have gained the knowledge of the simple command, chakras spin. You have gained the knowledge of the simple command, I am the sword. Wisdom comes when you need to know whether you need a semi-permeable force field around you or you need a very strong one. There are people you love and who love you, that their response to you because of their woundedness is to respond in pain. And a semi-permeable force field around your body, around your aura, is to allow their love in and to block the entrance of their pain, of their fear, of their anger. You know about victim consciousness. Wisdom is knowing when you are in victim consciousness. Wisdom is being able to discern when someone is placing their victim consciousness upon you. Wisdom is discussed by many, many people, but not to the depth of understanding the separation between wisdom and knowledge. Continue gathering knowledge. Continue experiencing what your responses are to someone and how that affects you, and how your responses to someone affects them. Knowledge of your relationship with one specific person can be limited to that person, because when you have knowledge of another person who responds in a different way, you are gaining knowledge. Being attuned to their moods, when someone is strong, when someone is weak, that's where your wisdom comes in. Wisdom is an energetic experience. You are able to read the energy, and you do this from your heart. Wisdom is the realization of knowing that no matter what you do, what has been done to you, that is not who you are. You are love. Now, that can also be intellectual knowledge. Wisdom is when that intellectual knowledge becomes you. Interesting, isn't it? The knowledge that you are love, as many times as you hear it, does not take the form of wisdom until you, within the deepness of yourself, know you are love and recognize how knowing that you are loved changes who you are. I have been giving you warnings, as have other channels, that life is still going to be very difficult. We talked about the breaking apart at one point, did we not? That things have to break apart so that there is an opening to a new energy, a new awareness, even the opening to love. Know in the depths of yourself, to where you can activate wisdom, that people's pain is going to be expressed. And even when it is expressed towards you in their pain, that is not about you. It is about their pain. When that is fully within your energy, wisdom has come. So you can have knowledge, and then wisdom is the activation of that knowledge within you. You have the capacity to have great wisdom, the Sophia, the wisdom. Solomon, you have heard of him, the wisdom. One of the stories about Solomon that they say shows his wisdom is when two women claimed the same child. And Solomon said, well, I'll just take my sword and divide the child in half. And from his wisdom, he knew that that would work in this situation. It may not have worked in other situations, but he knew by reading the energy of the two women, which one would say, let her have my child, I do not want the death. Whereas the other one said, okay. And the wisdom was knowing where the love came from, and where the other was simply wanting a thing. Wisdom comes when you know that you may have all of the money in the world. It seems like a few people do, don't they? But they would have to gather it together. Much more than they would need, much more than any one person would need. And wisdom comes when you realize that you have enough money, enough things, enough power to feel content within yourself and to connect to love itself. That type of wisdom comes when you move out of your first chakra, into your second chakra, into your third, and bring them all together in your fourth, in your heart. That is where wisdom resides. And then it is through your throat that you can live that wisdom. It is through your third eye that the heart energy comes in, and you realize there is a difference between certain ways of expressing knowledge and wisdom. And your crown, where you come to realize that all wisdom is contained in the all that is. And you may hear, again, have the knowledge that meditation, in whatever form you choose, is what brings you to the awareness of that all that is. The wisdom, however, comes when you are meditating and you realize that what was said is truth, and the truth becomes wisdom, even though people may look at you and go, but isn't that knowledge? No, it's not. It is wisdom because it is through your very cells. And that was cells, not selves. knowledge and wisdom can seem the same to someone who is not aware of the difference. This world is changing. Activate your wisdom. And if you wonder, well, what can I do? You know what to do, you just forget. Healing team. Find the wound, and do this now. Find the wound within me, which seems to make it difficult for me to know the difference between knowledge and wisdom. Please use the basic plug-in to bring healing to that wound. Even if you don't know the steps, they will do it because they know them. Please use the Healing Over Lifetimes plug-in to go through all of my lifetimes that are related to that wound and bring healing to it. Some of you, do you feel the tingling or the movement of energy as you were doing this? Use the Removal of Victim Consciousness plugin to remove any victim consciousness I have acquired that makes it difficult for me to separate, to know the difference between wisdom and knowledge. And it is victim consciousness that happens when you beat yourself up because you don't get it. Just allow yourself to work through it. And we'll add this little trick, little step. Healing team. Oh, let's just use encodement technicians here. Encodement team. Activate any inactive natural encodements that are needed for me to be in full wisdom. Soul healing team, find and bring back to me all the pieces of myself that I lost at some time in my life or in my lives that has clouded for me how to access wisdom, and clean, repair, and heal all of those pieces and fully integrate them within me. You know difficulties are coming. Do not focus on the difficulties. Be aware. Focus on your heart. And continue to ask for and receive wisdom of knowing how to love, when to love, how to set boundaries, when to set boundaries, and the various ways of doing it. I repeat, as I have said before, you are precious beyond measure. You are precious beyond anything you can measure. I know that. I see that. I enjoy your preciousness. Abba joins me in asking or sending you blessings right now. We are there with you, and we are always with you. And I am Amma, the Divine Mother of the Divine Mothers, and you are my precious child. And this is Kathy. I don't know your experience, but mine was that she was so tender with us today. I just could feel that tenderness in my body. It's like she's been saying things of getting us together, of really emphasizing being in our heart source, of really emphasizing what is happening and we need to be ready. And today it was like she was so tender. Maybe she knows that we needed that tenderness. Well, thank you all very much. I so appreciate you joining the Sunday ceremony. And if you would...
Tender and radiant, absolutely radiant.
Thank you. That's wonderful. And if you would like to unmute and tell everybody goodbye until the next time, please do that.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy.
It was amazing.
Thank you, Kathy, so much.
You're welcome.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Enjoy
Everybody. Thank you.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you,
Thank you all.
beloved Mother Amma.
And Mother Amma, absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.